Hello everyone, my name is RagingRaptor and I welcome you to a new World of Tanks video, and today we are going to have a look at the upcoming T42 American Tier VIII Medium tank. And well, it is a fairly interesting vehicle, as you will see right now. It is a 90mm armed tank with 280 alpha, good penetration values, pretty decent mobility, and superb armor for a medium tank. So how does this come? Because some people started to write in my comment section that, well, wargaming is just half-arsing those prototypes out of their imaginary numbers, and with the T42, that is actually not the case. This tank was meant to be a replacement of the M46 with superior armor. However, they said it was too slow and the engine was too weak, meaning that its mobility was comparable to be that one of an M4A3 Sherman. So that is why the development shifted towards the M47 and the T48, which was later then to be known to be the M48. And interestingly enough, there were two variants. The T69, which was an autoloader version, and you will most likely know in the World of Tanks terms, and the T87, which was an improved version of the T42, which sadly came too late. And as you can see, that turret, some people said that this turret looks like an upgunned or like a junky bulldog, but I personally have to say that this is most likely the M47 turret, as you can see right here in this little comparison right here. Now, let's go on into the game or into the stats and have a look at this vehicle. I today decided to take the TL1 LPC, the Pershing and the M46 KR as a comparison tool, because the TL1 LPC being the gun or the tank with 280 alpha as well, the Pershing being the second or the other Tier 8 tank in this line, and obviously the M46 KR because it's also a premium. What is going to happen with the T42 is not yet to be known. I, in theory, could say, or I think maybe there is a chance that this might be an alternative tank for the Pershing, or obviously it could be a premium tank as per usual. Would just be a little bit awkward if you would have two premium tanks being released roughly at the same time in the Supertest. So don't forget, this may or may not also be for a reward or something, like for a new campaign, you know, who knows. Anyway, 280 alpha, that is obviously something you as a medium are looking very much forward to, because it is better than what you have with 240 alpha, and obviously it is not as much as something like 360 alpha, where you will be scolded with a very, very long reload time, because 9.1 seconds is actually not that bad. It gives the T42 a DPM of 1846, which is worse than what the TL1 has, but is better than both the Pershing and the M46 Pattern KR. The penetration rates of 190, that's fine, you can work with that. It's AP round, so it's not the best. 268 premium penetration with APCR is also very good, and as far as I know, it is the copy-paste of the normal Pershing. However, don't forget the TL1 LPC has 280mm heat penetration, so he is up there and better to that sense. The HE rounds, they're pretty decent. You have 90 alpha more with them, which is a fairly good amount. And you can see shell velocities, it's okay. That is very good, obviously because it's APCR, and that is meh. To the accuracy values, 0.36, that is for Americans very good. You can see it is the best from the bunch right here, and the aim time of just 2 seconds is phenomenal. Like, that is insanely good. However, this is getting countered by very poor accuracy on the move, as you can see, 0.2 compared to 1.4, 1.4, 1.5, and even 1.2, and the turret rotation accuracy of 0.1, which is same as what the TL1 has, but again worse than what the Pershing or the KR has. So that is not that decent. But don't forget, 2 seconds aim time, that is a fairly good value, and that is definitely a thumbs up. To that, you have 10 degrees of gun depression and 20 degrees of gun elevation, which is totally fine and something you will always look forward to playing with, especially with the turret armor we're going to have a look later in the video. And yeah, 37 degrees of turret traverse speed is fairly good. It is the fastest of the bunch, but only by 1 degree, so it's marginal really. The whole traverse speed is 42 degrees per second, which is also fairly good. You can see that it is better than what the Pershing and the KR has, but only the TL1 LPC will be ahead of its peers. Mobility-wise, 51.5 kph, that's fine. 20 kph reverse speed, that's very good. You can work with that. 15.6 HP per ton ratio, that is a little bit of an oopsie, because just compare it to all the others. It is worse by far. Almost 1 with the Pershing, and then we go here with almost 3 or 2.4. Like 2.4 HP per ton ratio being worse, that's something you will not really look forward to be honest. Like the mobility will not be the strongest suit of the T42, sadly. But terrain resistances, they can't really push it out as well. It is slightly better than what the Pershing has, but then again, you will feel that the Pershing will be a little bit faster in the most times. However, you have a higher top speed, meaning going downhill. That is something which is fairly good. Now, let's go to the last part of the section, being the survivability. 1350 hit points, it is the lowest actually. Like Pershing, TL1 and M46 have more hit points. And the armor might also be worse on paper, but that is deceiving. Because the Pershings and the Patton's KR's armor are like this. You know, like quite a flat surface, like literally German-like. The TL1 LPC actually has very decent armor because it's like this. And the T6 and the T42's armor, well, it is obviously not that great. But it is basically the whole of the T69, as we already discussed in the history section. So if you consider the T69's hull to be fairly bouncy, like this upper plate, then it will most likely be the same thing for the T42. And that is something which is definitely not too bad, especially as it is like rounded, you know, and you want to play this tank in a hold down position. And don't forget, this is the turret. This is supposed to be the turret, the M47 turret. And it is strong, 250 millimeters around here. No overmatch over here, it has a cupola. But you already know, this is basically an M46 on tier 8 with a 90mm gun with decent penetration. Obviously, this is not a snapshot hero, but the turret should be the same. And that is very, very strong in my opinion for a tier 8 tank, for a tier 8 medium tank. Like this rivals some tier 8 heavy tanks when it comes to hold down capabilities, I would say. And it will be very interesting to see how this tank performs, especially as if you play it properly, you will hardly have any weak spot. So yeah, armor-wise, it is going to be better than what the Pershing has, better than what the M46 has, and most likely even better than what the TL1 LPC has. Because not only is it much smaller, the turret, but again, nominally, it has more armor, being rather good. The biggest drawback, however, is 380 meters base view range. Sure, you can get a good crew with that. With a good crew, you get 460 meters of view range. That's not the problem. The biggest issue will be that you will most likely have to exchange your vents with a stabilizer because the accuracy on the move is not that good. And this will take away of potential DPM, which the Pershing and the M46 can use, as well as the TL1 LPC, because they all have 400 meter or 390 meters base view range. So you can usually get that without using optics when you play very, very decently or have a very good crew with rations. So yeah, in conclusion, the T42 looks interesting. It really looks interesting. It's basically a T69 hull with a M47 turret and a 90mm with a punchy 90mm gun. It's fair, like stats-wise, it doesn't compete with the TL1 LPC. I still consider the TL1 LPC to be better. However, D42 definitely shines when it comes to armor. Really, the turret armor, if it is a copy-paste of the M47 turret, which it will most likely is, it is great. It is a very capable hold-down medium. And I'll be looking forward to try this out, especially with this quite accurate and punchy And quick aim time, sure, accuracy on the move is not that great, but with good crew skills and the stabilizer, you will be also still very snapshotty, and the 2 seconds aim time, that is very, very good and makes a lot of fun to use most likely. Plus penetration rates are not that shabby. In general, I have to say this tank doesn't look overpowered. It looks strong-ish, but it's not something like the Tier 1 LPC or the Progetto, you know. It feels good. It really depends on how good the turret and the upper front plate armor really are. Like if they will be able to be used when you are in a hold down scenario. Because if that's true, then I can live with, then it might be on the stronger side of the bunch. It is, in my opinion, definitely better than what the Pershing is. But then again, the Pershing is kind of power creep for ages now. So yeah, that is why I also think that the T42 could, in theory, be a replacement for the Pershing. Which would be weird, but there is a chance that this might be a replacement for the Pershing, you know. But yeah, that is the video I'm having for you today. So if you have any feedback, let me know in the comment section below. I will be always reading your comments. And I hope that you enjoyed the small dive into the history of the T42. That is just something I read up on Wikipedia, so everything, it could be wrong, who knows. And yeah, I want to incorporate that into my videos, just a little section about the history of a tank, because it kind of also gives us an idea if this tank actually was real or not, or if it was just a wargaming napkin fantasy. And for the T42 at least, and the T77, they were real projects which really were made, and prototypes which really were made. And in the case of the T42, people simply said, nope, it's not fast enough, it's not that what we wanted from the army. And if you managed to get it this far into the video and you haven't subscribed already, consider subscribing. I will try to be always up to giving you the most and latest information about World of Tanks. And now with my finals being over, I should be once again on schedule. My name is RagingRaptor, thank you so much for watching, have a great time, have good luck in the Clan Wars campaign, and as always, I'll see you next time. Cheers guys.